Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute just in case you missed about how I became super awesome ace analyst. In West Philadelphia, born and raised, in the courthouse is where I spend most of my day. Well, that was weird. Twilight helps Rainbow Dash prepare for her Wonderbolts Reserves test. My first thought when this episode began was whether Rainbow is still part of the Wonderbolts Academy, or if that was just a short-term training regimen, seeing as how ambiguous the ending was after the events of the episode. Though here I guess we begin the next milestone of her life goal in joining the Wonderbolts, which is passing a test to become part of their reserves. Twilight is in usual anxiety mode, fretting over Rainbow Dash's chances of passing the test, while Rainbow herself is more passive and collective, believing that her physical prowess will be enough to get her into reserves. The back and forth between these two throughout the entire episode is so entertaining, like Rainbow's jab at Twilight's anxiety arias a la failure success song, and Twilight's attitude saying she has a better chance of getting into the reserves with her knowledge. It's just so much fun. And despite Twilight's years of studying knowledge, she can't get through Rainbow's inability to learn through her methods as she employs a variety of study aids.
As if I really look like this!
Can't we just watch the History of the Wonderbolts movie?
Yeah, why not? Well, I guess we wouldn't have a story then. Anyway, there were so many subtle aspects to this story which made it entertaining upon further viewings. Like how from the very beginning we set up Rainbow's methodology of learning and how she absorbs information about her surroundings passively, with her catching Twilight by surprise. I was so impressed with how much world building they could pack into the episode, up to and including the origins of the Wonderbolts, beginning at the celebration of the first celestial year of peace, following 1 year of Luna's banishment that is officially referred to as the Celestia and Luna Rift. And it's intriguing to think about the before and after effects of the Equestrian Society following the event. The EUP, or Future Name Protective Pony Platoons, was created after the Rift. So does that mean there was no military or any form of defense prior to this time? This Discord's short reign was before the Rift event, and you'd figure after that some sort of defense would be employed. And what all this history is inferring is that even going back to the origins of Equestria and even Sombra's uprising, Luna and Celestia have been pretty much the sole protectors of Equestria. That's amazing. Then again, both sisters did possess the elements of harmony, so one could assume uprising was rare, as no one could compete with their power. After the Rift events, employing a guard makes sense, seeing as each sister possessed 3 of the 6 elements, and thus losing her sister essentially made the elements lose their full potential, leaving Celestia vulnerable. Anyway, back to the celebration, General Firefly, nice reference, led a team of Pegasi aerial performers, which were Admiral Fairweather, Colonel Purple Dart, Admiral Fairyfly, General Flash, and Commander Easy Glider, whose aerial choreography is still employed today, which shows how much passion the Wonderbolts really have in their roots. A lightning event impressed the crowd to complete awe and wonder, and thus Firefly established their identity as the Wonderbolts. So much history, so much detail, it's amazing how you go back in 20 minutes. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, there was an episode. The rest of the Maid 6 assist Rainbow with their studying. First off, I love the dichotomy we see between Twilight and Rainbow arguing over their conflicting viewpoints of each other's strengths and weaknesses, essentially burning each other. That happened a lot this episode, didn't it? Though before things get heated, Fluttershy intervenes and thus begin with the rest of the Maid 6 trying their own methods of studying. Fluttershy, a dramatic reenactment, Rarity, a fashion lineup with the Wonderbolts uniforms.
Pinky, you're real!
Of course I am. Fell for a classic misdirection.
Applejack, who I love how she pretty much admits no real effort to this venture, seeing as she absolutely knows nothing about the Wonderbolts.
Then you are up a creek.
Applejack is hilarious in her brutally honest declarations. And finally, Pinky with a rap. It's like if you took the Beastie Boys' Run DMC and blended it all with the Fresh Prince intro. Oh god, we're being invaded by horrible 90s fashion.
Dude, don't knock the 90s. Everybody back then was totally wearing the dopest of material. More fly your appearance, more chicks you got. Also, Youngblood Stallions is the greatest comic series ever!
Get out of my prosecutor's box, which I just realized we had, and why do I even... just get out!
Wisey wag, dude. Wisey wag.
Yeah, well, get this. Anyway, unsuccessful in their attempts, Rainbow runs off stressed with Twilight attempting to console her, and thus Rainbow's method of retention of information is revealed to Twilight about her multitasking abilities and absorbing her surroundings subconsciously. Twilight then organizes an epic reveal of the history of the Wonderbolts put on by the entire town. It's interesting to see Rarity playing Nightmare Moon, tribute also to Nightmarity from the comic series. Rainbow memorizes the town-wide play and passes her test. This episode really grew on me upon further viewings of it, with its great humor, interesting backstory, and especially the back and forth between Twilight and Rainbow. Despite a simple premise about studying, overall this episode was really fun. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'll be in my holodeck.
Have a nice music career, Mr. Code.
Shut up! I lay it down to objections about 7 or 8, but as for this episode, it was really great. I looked at my success, I was finally there to have my own spaceship that can fly anywhere.